When it comes to long-term ammunition storage, just about anything's going to work just fine. Especially like military surplus cans, because they even have a seal on them that'll help keep out moisture, generally speaking. Now there's a couple exceptions. One would be 22 ammunition, because it's affordable again, and you buy it in such large numbers that it could be sitting around for years before you shoot it. Like a long time. Say, for example, you have grandkids and they're burning up 2,000 to 3,000 rounds every single weekend, and you're just mass buying it, and all of a sudden they don't come over to shoot anymore. Now you got like 50,000 rounds of ammunition sitting there that may have to get passed down to a couple of family members before it actually gets shot. So you could be looking at like 30, 40 years before it gets shot, maybe even longer. So what do we do about that? The next exception would be concealed carry guns. Rapid temperature change is seriously going to hurt you. Now, this definitely applies to you, especially if you're into the performance market on vehicles. Air. When it changes temperature, it changes up the mass it takes in. Like, for example, nitrous oxide. Yeah, you get a little bit of horsepower from actually burning the chemical itself, but where you really gain the power is because you're shooting in a gas that comes out at a crazy negative number. I'll Google it and put up what the number comes in. And every 10 degrees colder you get your engine intake, you pick up 1 horsepower. Because what that allows the air to do is become more dense. There's more oxygen molecules in a smaller space, therefore you can burn more fuel. But I'm getting off topic. Anyway, like you'll notice this, especially if you live in a climate where it's winter, or where you have winters. Say you drink your soda and you throw it on the floor, and then you get out of your car, go in the house. Well, when you come out, the soda bottle will be all collapsed. Now as your car warms up, it'll pop out, scare the ever-living crap out of you, but it makes a loud snap noise as the air expands again. Well, the same thing happens with your ammunition. Yeah, a lot of military ammo, they do their best to seal it off, but is it completely sealed? Are you going to count your life on that? So that's something to think about. So like your carry gun, where it's constantly changing temperatures, like possibly, especially the last couple of days in Wisconsin, you'd be looking at like 120 degree change in just a couple of hours. You're going from like 70 degrees inside your house, or 70 degrees in the cabin of your car, to negative 30. That's something to be aware of, because it's going to draw moisture out of the air and suck it inside the ammunition.
Oh, it's sweet.
So that's why revolvers are usually typically better for people that don't shoot a lot, because the revolver's more likely to fire. Even if there is a bad round, unless it goes squib, you pull the trigger again, it puts the next one in its place, and you shoot it. But with concealed carry ammo, what I would do is only buy as much as you're going to carry in your gun. And then on your birthday, buy new ammunition. Next time you get a chance, go to the range, shoot the old stuff. This way it'll keep it in rotation. Because if you just buy it as soon as you're going to load your guns, or as soon as you need it for your concealed carry gun, you're buying it fresh off the shelf. So that gives you the best chance of having the newest ammunition as possible. So therefore, if it was shipped in really cold weather, it doesn't really matter. If you bought like 1,000 rounds for your concealed carry gun of ammo that you're just going to shoot in your concealed carry gun, and it did happen to get shipped in really cold weather, and then you're carrying it, you might go to pull a trigger and you might get a click. Okay, I had to try this. So, for those exceptions, how do we take care of them? Well, without a doubt, I think the best way to handle, especially like 22 ammo or any ammo you want to store away, would be vacuum sealing it.
That thing is banjo tight.
Now, I don't have the funds to just go out and arbitrarily buy thousands of rounds of ammunition and put them away and never touch them again, so ammo storage for me really isn't that big of a problem. Now, when it comes to reloading, that's a little bit different. This is already sealed up, and that's not that big of a deal. when I reload, I usually reload 1 pound of powder worth of ammunition, even if it takes me 2 or 3 days to do it, because I typically will reload right in that window in the summer before it gets really, really hot. Because where I reload at, because I don't have my own house yet, I'm hoping to get a house soon. But anyways, the heating and cooling in that is not the best, so it's easiest to reload right in that window when it's like 70 degrees outside. So I'll cast a bunch of bullets, reload 1 pound of powder. Primers are an issue though, so you gotta put them in a Ziploc bag or something. As a matter of fact, the sheer dimension of their name makes them squirm. But anyway, then the next issue would be like, let's say you store your ammunition in your basement, because if it's underground, typically it's going to stay within a certain temperature range. It's never going to get really warm, it's never going to get really cold, it's not exposed to direct sunlight. Well, summer comes and your basement floods, or your water heater breaks, or something like that. So that's something you want to be concerned about, where vacuum sealing, I think, would also come in very well. And another reason why I probably wouldn't store ammo for a long period of time. So say I buy this, what do we got here? 44 Magnums. I had ordered it, I'm making this up, say I had ordered it Monday. So it's at the place of business, which probably about 70 degrees. Then they ship it to me yesterday, so then the ammo drops below negative 20. It was like 28 or negative 30. Comes here, and then it's back in 70 degree weather. It may have not sucked in a lot of humidity, but it's very possible it sucked in some. Will it affect it right away? Probably not, but over a long period of time, most definitely. That little bit of moisture can work its way through its powder. I've actually had contaminated powder rounds when I made a squib round. Basically, the primer had enough power to set off the... well, I shouldn't say set off. To move the bullet forward, and then my pistol was just full of gunpowder. I've seen it in several rifles too, especially with like AKs. Most of the ammo is in a spam can, and that's okay, but especially if you're just buying it piecemeal, who knows how long that spam can's been open for. That happens constantly. But you know, check out the cartridge. See what it looks like. That'll be a definite indicator of how good the ammunition might be. Also, the oil on your fingers. That can also cause ammunition problems. I've made a squib in a 22. The mag wasn't working properly, so I oiled the crap out of it with WD-40, loaded it up, and it had just enough power to where the rounds would come out of the barrel and then hit the dirt. So oils. You're going to want to watch your oil contamination. So without a doubt, I think vacuum sealing's the best. Now, I wouldn't do like full magazines or anything like that. I'd do battle packs. So I'd make little containers, probably about this big, ideally on stripper clips with a stripper spoon inside of it, and probably go, 10 to 20 rounds. Because loaded magazines, it kind of don't make sense, because if for whatever reason you drove out of your house and you had to go on the move, how are you going to carry all that ammunition and weight? You're going to grab maybe 5 magazines, probably more realistically like 3, and then to be able to carry more ammo, you carry less magazines. So you have less weight in total. And keeping a lot of ammo at your house, like, if you can afford it, yeah, by all means, buy as much ammo as you can. Right now, it's relatively cheap, and believe your eyes and ears. Don't ignore the writing on the wall. This political situation we're in right now is going to come to a head really, really soon. They're either going to back off, or who knows, we might wind up trading blows on a battlefield. So anyway, but back to storing mass ammunition in your house. So what are the situations where you'd have to defend your house? Well, EMP, solar flare, political climate goes rough. Every single one of those situations, you want to be a ghost. You don't want to be noticed. You definitely do not want to cook food. You'll notice this when you're hungry, you drive past the movie theater, you'll smell the popcorn inside of it. If you've been starving for about a week and your neighbor cooks food, you're gonna know. You're definitely gonna know. And let's be real, it doesn't matter if you got 1 guy in the house or 5 guys in the house. You don't want to fight a battle on your doorstep, no matter what. So having thousands and thousands of rounds of ammunition inside your house just don't make sense to me, because if things got that bad to where I would need ammo, I can't bring it with me. And if I have to use it on my doorstep, I'm going to lose. Because you got to think of it like in your perspective. Say, for example, you have a child, and that child's malnourished and probably going to die soon from starvation. And you can smell food cooking out of your neighbor's house. What wouldn't you do to feed your child? The point I'm trying to make is, say you're one person in that house or 5 persons in that house, it doesn't matter. You just set the house on fire or something, wait for them to come out, take the stuff at your own leisure. You can't survive trying to fight a battle on your doorstep. That's not where you fight battles. You fight battles other places, and you retreat to your house, sleep, whatever, and then you go back out. So anyway, should you store a lot of ammunition? Oh, by all means. You should use your credit card and rack up bills you can't pay for to buy a bunch of ammunition? I probably wouldn't. I mean, if you really have to, get into reloading. Most of the stuff's already sealed up like the powder. And then if it comes down to where things get really, really bad, yeah, you got your normal factory ammo, which is in vacuum sealed containers that you use if you have to run or you need it right now. But if you don't have the time to reload ammunition, you're going to have to abandon your house anyway. So those thousands of rounds that you've stored up are just useless. You're feeding the enemy. But anyway, I mean, these are just my opinions. There's plenty of sources out there. You should definitely get multiple opinions before you make a decision on what you're going to do. But thank you for watching. Leave in the comments below what you think about all this. Don't forget to subscribe.